Hello, I'm joined by Emmett Hedigan, CEO of FireBuilder. FireBuilder is an eco-friendly firelighter that's disrupting the firelighting industry. They have had massive success already across the multiples in Ireland, the UK, Australia and New Zealand. Emmett, thanks very much for joining me. You did a crowdfunding campaign with us at Spark CrowdFunding. Can you tell me how it went, please?
I have to say I found the whole process remarkably refreshing. I've tended to always do things myself, now and again look to external funding through people like EI, but generally have kept away from it. But a brother of mine just strongly recommended the crowdfunding route. I met with you guys and it was really reassuring that you seemed to believe in a short period of time that I had something of value and that people would be attracted to it. And that started the process. And then just to give you an insight to the kind of personality I am, very quickly I believed it would work. And I went ahead and hired people last September, even though we didn't get the funding till November. Not the smartest thing you could do, but it's helped the business because I took on that risk. And now we have employed someone in Australia. I've got a guy in Madrid and I have a marketing person here in Ireland. I thought the process was really refreshing.
Very good. And did you look at any other routes for the money?
I did what most people do. You do friends and family, but they get exhausted over the years. I looked at banks, but banks in this country really don't work. They'll back you when you probably don't. They'll back us now because we got the crowdfunding, but you were the guys who backed us, and it was just great. And the process of getting individuals, we ended up with 44 individuals, most of whom I spoke with. Was just a very easy process. It took a little bit longer than I'd like, but that's life. You're dealing with 44 individuals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you've already been very successful in getting into the multiples across these islands. How important do you think the multiples are going to be for you to scale the business?
I've spent a lot of my life working in the banking arena, and I look at our business a bit like banking. I'd like our business to be a bit like HSBC and Revolut as a cocktail. So the example I'd give you, retail is very important, online is very important, and then what ultimately you may then, the Revolut aspect to that is we need to get into people's worlds. So you have to actually deal with people when they want to deal with you. And I think our product lends itself to what I'd call a subscription model. So yes, you buy it in your local shop. Yes, you can go online if you want to. And yes, you can actually join a club and get subscribed to. So it's all three channels matter, not one in isolation. But if you don't have the multiples, then Sharon Buckley, who does your shopping in SuperValu, won't know the product. Exactly. We don't have a Coca-Cola budget to make her aware of the product.
No, but your product is clearly a disruptor for the industry and is ripe for change. What do you think will be your key messages to how you actually get the product out there and in front of the clients?
Well, a few things. One is the industry is enormous. So the stats in the industry, so just in Ireland alone, we light 120 million fires in our stoves or fireplaces. That's before we go into barbecues or fire pits. The UK lights 500 million. The US is into 1.2 billion barbecues alone. So it's a huge industry, but what's really refreshing for us is that when you enter a new industry, you always have a large player who's the incumbent. Premium firelighters use kerosene. 90% of them do. So basically, as far as I know, and I've heard this from buyers in places like SuperValu, they've been told to move away from kerosene. Governments are telling us to move away from kerosene. This country is telling us we need to move away from it. And then the consumer is really directing that. The consumer doesn't want kerosene. So 90% of the products that are sold in the world at the moment have kerosene. Ours doesn't.
What does success look like for you? And how ambitious are you for the business?
I'm crazy. Like I spend a lot of my life in sport, and sport and business is such a parallel. You got to kind of be relentless. The analogy I think with sport is very accurate because sometimes you try something yesterday and it worked perfectly, and you try the same move today and it doesn't work because you've got competitors who are doing something different, circumstances are different. But I have a massive ambition for the company because I've never had a product that I could sell 1 billion of them. And I could, because you just look at the stats. If we get 10% of the US barbecue market, we're done and dusted.
Emmett, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you.